Dogs are descendants from the wolves. Now, recently there's been a big uproar in owning exotic animals. One of the most popular exotic animals on the market are wolf dogs. Now, what is a wolf dog? A wolf dog is when you take a wolf and you breed it with a domestic dog. You get a hybrid wolf dog. Now, there's also a couple other ways you can make these hybrid wolf dogs. Is you can also breed a wolf with an already hybrid wolf dog, and you can also breed a hybrid wolf dog with a domestic dog. The reason you do this is it just depends how much wolf and how much dog you want in your hybrid. Now, today I'm going to talk about some characteristics that make these hybrid wolf dogs a little bit different from your average dog, and I'm also going to go over 3 wolves and 3 domestic dogs often used in these hybrid wolves. That way, you know some of the characteristics of these the wolves and some of the characteristics of the dogs. So that way, you can kind of help pick out the dogs and wolves you'd want if you ever decide to make your own hybrid wolf dog. Now when you make when these dogs, when they're puppies, they're actually very very similar to your normal domestic puppy. Is that they're very energetic and they will act very similar to just your normal domestic puppy. And now here I have Pete, one of my roommate's puppies. He's a red heeler and he's a little camera shy. Now the main difference between these dogs is once they grow out of their adolescent stage, the wolf will start to pop out in these dogs, and it really depends when you see this as wolves and dogs they mature at different rates, and so it really depends when you see these characteristics pop out. And one of the main characteristics you'll see, and it's usually the first one, is that wolves are just a naturally very timid animal, and in the wild they're very timid against new things and people. And so you'll see that usually one of the first characteristics you'll see is that they'll start to not be as social with new people, and kind of be timid against new things and not don't want to be around those kind of things. And I mean, that can be a big difference because if you have a very popular or a lot of people in your family, and a lot of people come and go from your house, it can be kind of hard on the dog. And so that's something to really consider. And also, these dogs are wolf dogs are very territorial, as like wolves, they hunt in packs and they have their own territory. That's the same way with these wolf dogs, is they kind of bring that characteristic in with them most of the time. And so what that means is they'll often urinate all over the house to kind of mark their territory. And if you don't get them trained well when they're young, this can be a really big problem. And that brings me to my next point, is that once they get out of that adolescent stage, they're very hard to train. So it's very important that you train them well when they're younger. That way they can bring that training into once they start to get kind of more stubborn. It's just kind of harder to train them. So it's important to have them trained before that point. They also just have other natural wolf characteristics, like making their own dens in the backyard. So that's also something to take into consideration. It might be important to have a kind of a bigger backyard with these animals. And they can also howl and just be a little more aggressive too, especially when they feel threatened. Just a natural instinct of a wolf is to be aggressive. But that also comes back to the timid point, is they're also going to be timid. That's one thing with these wolves, is a lot of people, when they think of wolf dogs, they're going to be real aggressive dogs, real scary animals. And that's actually why they started breeding them, is like for police dogs. They wanted a dog that would just be a little, like just a little better and a little more scary, a little more aggressive. And that just never really worked out for them. It was just always a little too timid, and just never was the kind of dog that they wanted for the job. And so now I'll go over the 3 wolves often used in these making these hybrids. The first wolf is the timber wolf or gray wolf. It is one of the largest wolf species in the world. They grow up to 6 feet in length and up to 200 pounds. These wolves, their fur is pretty thick. They usually live in fairly cold environments. They Their fur ranges from any shades of gray, with a lot of different color patterns. And then also there are the all black timber wolves and all white timber wolves. Those colorways also are existent in nature. These wolves, they have a very long muzzle with large pointy ears. They are pretty aggressive wolves. They hunt in packs and but are very timid to humans. You don't see them around humans very often. The next wolf is the red wolf. This wolf is definitely one of the smaller wolf species. They grow around 4 feet at max and it can range from weight, but are usually around 110 pounds. Now these wolves, they are definitely a lot sleeker, just a smaller body shape than um, the timber wolf. Their muzzle is just a little smaller, a little more pointy, and they have some definitely smaller ears, but they're more pointy. Um, that way they can hear a little better. The red wolf, they're a nocturnal animal and they hunt at night, and so their ears help them hear a little better when it's dark out. These wolves are very well, since they're nocturnal. That's something to also pay attention to. Is that can also come up as a characteristic in your hybrid, and so it just depends really if it comes out or not. But that can be a big factor. And the third wolf used is the Arctic wolf. These wolves are found in very cold areas, and so their fur is very thick. Their fur is also very usually pure white to very light grays. These wolves, they have shorter muzzles and smaller ears. That way they can keep heat in when it's so cold out. So if you live in a cold area, this is a good wolf to breed with because it will just allow your wolf dog to handle the climates very well. Now we'll move on to the domestic dogs. The first domestic dog is the Husky. The Husky is a medium dog, growing between 3 feet in length and up to like 60 to 70 pounds. Their fur is also very thick, and it ranges from different shades of white to black, with a bunch of different color shades going on. It's a very energetic dog, very playful. So it's a really good pet. Their muzzle is shorter and their ears are rounder, and they're just a very sturdy, athletic dog. The next one's a German Shepherd. German Shepherds are great dogs. They're often used as police dogs or just guard dogs. That's because they're very alert, protective dogs. Great Danes are great. German Shepherds are an athletic dog. They're very lengthy. They can grow up to 5 feet in length and weigh up to 120 pounds. Their fur is, depending on if it's a full-bred or not, can range in length, but it's usually a fairly long coat, and it ranges from black and browns, with all different shades going on. The third one is the Malamute. It's very similar to the Husky, but it's just a little bit bigger. It's a very stocky dog, often used to pull sleds. Its fur ranges from white to black. Its muzzle is a little shorter, kind of like the Husky, and has rounder ears. It does not have the curly tail as much as the Husky does. But these dogs are very loving and gentle dogs, really good family dogs. So now that you kind of have that background information on the wolf dogs, and then also kind of the information on the wolves and the domestic dogs used to make these hybrids, kind of the different characteristics each can bring to the hybrid. It's now once you know that information, you kind of get to choose what your hybrid's going to look like. And when you're choosing these, there's three things you really gotta pay attention to. You need to know what you want your dog to look like what kind of fur you want, what facial characteristics, physical characteristics, as far as the fur, the muzzle, the face, size, and then and then also the kind of different characteristics that they bring to the table as far as being nocturnal, are they friendly, stuff like that. And so once you kind of like have an idea of what you want, it's and then having the knowledge of these animals, it makes the decision a little easier. But it's never going to be very accurate as accurate as you want. It's not 100% because you are breeding two different animals. You just never really know exactly what you're going to get. But with that knowledge, you're going to have a better understanding, and you're going to get closer to what you want out of your hybrid. And now for me, if I was going to pick my hybrid, because a wolf dog is always a dog that I've always wanted. That's why I did this speech. I would have a large, all black Timber Wolf hybrid with a Malamute, and I'd breed that with a larger Malamute with a darker fur. I just like that because I like large dogs, and I also like dogs with darker fur, and so that should give me a large wolf dog with darker fur. And also, I chose the Malamute because it's one of the most friendly dogs out there, and it's also very athletic. And so those are two things I want. And I also chose to breed it with a hybrid and then a regular domestic dog. That way I have a little less wolf in it. That way it will make it a little easier to train and just be a better dog in the house and stuff. And so, yeah, that's my presentation. I can't wait to one day own my own wolf dog.